The second one, the second episode of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, the Michonne's journey. What was her journey like to get to Rick? How Michonne's perspective looks like? How long did it take before she managed to find Rick? And now, what Rick and Michonne are going to do after this reunion? They're gonna try to escape from CRM, or they're gonna try to fight against CRM? Yeah, in this video we're gonna do the review and recap about this second episode of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. And if you wanna know, let's go. Hello everyone who watching this beautiful channel, my name is John Victor and I'm here to talk about The Ones Who Live again. This is the Walking Dead spin-off that now I can say this is the best spin-off of The Walking Dead. But yeah, we have something to analyze in the second episode, we have a lot to say, so don't forget to give the like, don't forget to subscribe. I also like to thank everyone for the support in my first video, for the support with the channel, for the patience with my English. I'm trying to practice more and more and this channel is gonna be very useful for this, so let's go to the review. Since the first episode that was about Rick, we have the second episode about Michonne, the Michonne's perspective, that explains clearly what was her journey to get to Rick. But this episode also increased the CRM villain level and already is giving to us the beginning of the last great mission, which is probably Rick and Michonne trying to defeat CRM, not only escape. This episode really clarifies to me the intention of Michonne, and this gas situation is very important for this. I'll be back at this point, but first I have to start talking about their setting us in the 6 years after the bridge explosion. It shows us the exact moment that Michonne's joined the giant group that we saw in episode 13 of season 10 of the main show. We see there that even though this is a simple group, they have their own caution. With the interview method, the questions to Michonne about who she is, where she have been, and we see that Michonne has something that helps her when she arrives this group. She just saved the leader's sister and her boyfriend. And there we go to the first new characters of this episode, Aiden and Bailey. Their introduction, which had come already when Michonne left The Walking Dead, but now we finally have the opportunity to know more about them. And also we have Nat, that I have to say here, this is the biggest main character of this second episode. This is the one that I can compare to Okafor in the first episode. I was very interested to him, but I got very sad when I saw that he dies. But alright, this death are all very important to the script of this episode, to the motivation of Michonne in the last part of the episode. Hold on, I'll be back to it, I'm gonna talk about that. Going back to the new characters, this show proves how important good planning and caution when writing a script is. I said the same thing about the first episode, about Okafor and everything, and I have to say it again. The development of these new characters in this show, it's amazing, and even these characters die in the same episode that they show up. You who are watching the show got sad. But yeah, we have to go back to Michonne. This time Michonne already have a location to go. She found a place to go in the north called Bridger's Terminal. But also here we can see Michonne is some kind of anxious. She's anxious to find Rick, but also she's anxious to return home. She's worried about the kids. She's worried about home, because by this time she lost the contact with Judith. But okay, after this we can see Michonne's quickly goodbye and her actually noticing the first big resistance to get to Rick. This is the same thing they did in the first episode. This is a big reference. Rick in the first episode also have a lot of resistance. His attempts to escape, this kind of frustration moved him to give up. To Michonne is almost the same thing. We have like 3 resistance times. The first one is this big horde, probably one of the biggest hordes that we ever seen in the Walking Dead universe. I really think it's bigger than Whisper's horde. The zombie explosion and the danger that Michonne goes through there shows that she's not ready to go alone yet. We also see this purple explosions that visually draw our attention as something very different that is soon revealed to be type of chemical weapon that Nat developed to burn for so long time and attract attention of the walkers. The episode doesn't make it so explicit, but there Nat, Aiden and Bailey followed Michonne's advice. They decided to left the group now going alone, but we can see that part of the group wanted to follow them. So we still have a big group here. Michonne now has a support group to help her find Rick, and we have here an idea of peace and a happy group where nothing could go wrong until the CRM appears in their lives. Yeah, the CRM, and this moment has destroyed me. I can say it's very strong to see when the helicopter arrives dropping the chemical weapon, killing almost everyone there. The episode had already generated enough attachment for us in that group, and out of nowhere ripped everyone out of the story. And that's insane. This scene works very well. And yeah, it came up to show how the CRM operates, how the CRM thinks. thinks. Groups of thousands of people are nothing to them. It increases the evil level of this group even more, making it something above World Beyond, the other spin-off, the other show. I can say congratulations here to the actors, to the makeup team, to the directors. We can feel here the suffering for this gas, it was incredible. We also have some reference for the First World War where they used this same gas. It's totally heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to hear Nat agonizing. And the most important thing, this is important to make Michonne prepared for what she will face up in the front. It already generates enough anger and motivation in her to see that she cannot trust anything that comes from this group. She met Rick with a vision that she can't trust the CRM. And there we go to the year-long journey for Michonne and Nat now recovering from this gas. As we can see, it probably took over by 1 year, and this gas situation works as the second big impact for Michonne. And there we go to the third. The last one is the Bridger's shipyard situation. When she finds this location and she only can see a lot of bodies and nothing, she realized that she cannot find anything about Rick here. And if you didn't get it, this time she decided to go back home, to go back to Alexandria. She and Nat were in their way to home when they saw the helicopter. And now we can see the anger of Michonne by seeing her perspective when she killed the soldiers, by looking at their eyes, and that's the way she finds Rick. We really have an even more exciting reunion in this episode. It's nice to see him straight away asking about Judith without knowing about RJ and still wanting to clarify to Michonne that he is not with the CRM. This scene was so well done that I keep imagining about Rick's head this time. Inside his head, after all these years, he probably thought it was a dream or a hallucination. After so many years trying to escape, he finally found Michonne. I also have to say, Nat dying by a surprise is a sad blow that confirms that all the new characters who helped Michonne get there were killed by the CRM, and it is very important. It's gonna motivate her a lot to put an end to them, to kill everyone, to burn the entire CRM. And this scene when the helicopter arrives starts one of the most exciting parts of the show. That's why Michonne smiles there. Now begins their mission together, not only to escape, but to defeat CRM. There we go to the interview. Rick already gave the right orientation to Michonne, and I have to say how amazing Danai is here as an actress, because she have to act as Michonne when she is an actress who managed to pass the CRM interview and infiltrates the group. So let's talk about Rick and Michonne's secret conversation, because I said a lot about this new decision of Michonne to destroy CRM, but Rick is not too convinced about that. Rick spends almost 8 years on the CRM, he saws everything so close, and he can't believe on that so far. He says it's unlikely. It looks like they're going to be divided for the next episodes until Michonne can motivate Rick that she can destroy the CRM. And I've talked a lot about the resistance and the problems they faced off, and there we go to the first problem they have inside the CRM. The end of this episode showed us about Jadis. She finally showed up after these years, and she knows about what Rick is pretending. And I have to say, Jadis' invasion to the Rick's apartment can show us a lot of things. First of all, that they both have maintained some kind of confidentiality there. The second thing is, I think Jadis is still in a higher position than Rick. And the third thing, Rick and Jadis had not had contact for a long time. But for Rick's surprise, Jadis has everything figured out. She knows Michonne, and we finally have the threat we all imagined for all of these years. The threat coming from someone who actually can do something, because she knows the location of everything. So if Rick escapes with Michonne, Jadis is gonna blow everything. She's gonna kill everyone who Rick and Michonne loved. Probably she's gonna destroy Alexandria, and that's the magnific way they ended the episode, because you keep the expectations to see the third one. And I have to say, we have another introduction episode now for another protagonist, and I can't see a better way to do it. Story and script well tied together, and once again new amazing characters, and And the only sad point being that we can't see more of their potential. Even so, the story goes the way we expected, giant, tending to get even bigger, because after all, we have reached the last stage of this show, the last stage of the story, how Rick and Michonne are going to escape from CRM. And look at me, it looks like it won't just be about escaping. If I make a ranking of this episode so far, I would still put episode 1 first, but everything so far in this show is close to the perfection. That's my opinion. And what about you? How do you feel about the second episode? Put in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. I'll be right back as soon as possible. We're probably gonna keep with 3 or 2 videos weekly, and we're gonna do more in the future. So I'll be right back. Thank you for watching. Bye.